And we're live. Yay! Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming. I'm very excited to have Kevin of Kevin Loving Vibrations on tonight. And welcome, Kevin.
Well, thanks
Yay!
for
We're
having
here.
me. Yes, I've
Yeah.
been looking forward to us working together, and
Thank
I've
you.
seen you on other readers show, and I just love. I find it so interesting, especially with the numerology stuff that you do, and you have your own tarot deck. You got a lot
Yeah,
of stuff going on.
a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, I do. I'm doing personalized one-on-one private
Yeah,
readings, and then have another book coming out. But
very cool.
it's really cool. And you do personal readings as well. You have a calendar up.
I don't have a website at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
That is something that I will be putting energy into next year, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I do readings. I'm a Reiki master, so a lot of
Oh,
distant Reiki sessions and or combination of both, I think is really great, especially for the new year. Asking the Reiki energy to kind of help release whatever is no longer serving you and helping you to
that's
attract and bring in all the, the new things. I think it goes hand in hand with those New Year's resolutions.
right.
And hopefully I'm hoping to get some classes in the work here soon. I have to get a little bit more
Oh,
familiar with the Reiki attunement process, but when I feel more comfortable with that and focus, um, I'm looking forward to doing Reiki classes too.
sounds wonderful. You know, there is a story I have about Kevin, and he doesn't even know what it is.
Oh,
Hi, Jean.
what's that?
We were supposed to go on about 6 weeks ago, and I got sick, and I had everything together, but I had a fever. And the
Mm,
day before, I texted you that I'm sick.
yeah.
And then you emailed me. You emailed me and said, I haven't got the link for the show yet. And I emailed back that well, first of all, I thought, who's Kevin? Because my brain was like on
Yeah.
fire. I was boiling. I said, who's Kevin? And then it dawned on me. I said, oh, I'm sick. And you said, oh, I hope you feel better. And that was the end of it. And then 10 minutes later, you emailed again and said, make sure you take down the ad or the thumbnail
Oh, yeah.
with the announcement of our lives. So you have to delete that. You kind of spoke slowly for me in the email. I said, and again, I got this email 10 minutes later and I'm going, who is Kevin? And then I got him. So I got that taken care of. I followed your instructions. And then it wasn't that's not the end of the story. The end of the story is Thanksgiving, because
Yeah.
I had this really pretty picture of a turkey that I was sending everyone that I knew, that I was thankful for their friendship. And I opened the text to you and I had never pressed send. Right there, it was, I am sick. So I never told you any of that. It was
Yeah.
like, and you gave me space for that because we don't know each other. You don't know,
Oh,
you
of
don't know how
course.
much.
Yeah.
That was so sweet of you. Oh my gosh, very
Well,
sweet.
and since you had COVID, I had COVID, so just
Mm-hmm.
need that time to, especially with that, just to kind of rest and recharge. And I still don't even. I feel so much better. And this was a couple weeks ago, but I still don't feel like the energy level's quite back to 100%. So it still kind of lingers on a
Mm-hmm.
little bit. But
Yeah, it
I totally understand. No
does. You're
problem.
so nice.
I think, I mean, we have to feel it ourselves to be at service and to be at our best selves to give back to other people. So
I
yeah,
know, but
taking care of yourself is so important.
what pushed me into thinking that I could do it is, and this is my fault, I should have just read my own self,
Mm,
but I would go on and follow the people that I admire doing readings and things online. And I think, and they'd say, oh, I'm sick, I have COVID or something like that. And they do a wonderful job. And I thought, I
mm,
can do that. I can do that, even though
yeah,
my brains were boiling. But that was awful nice of you. And you let me invite you back on. And you
of
said
course.
yes. So
And like I told you before the show, I know I'm streaming on my channel as
yeah,
well, but I want to have you on my show too, and we can maybe do some
thank
mini
you.
personals. And I think um, my subscribers would really enjoy the numerology and even
Sure.
maybe some of your tarot cards and all that. So
Awesome. I would love that.
yeah.
Today we were talking about going into politics, but I'm looking at the feed and I'm not seeing many questions. If you would
Yeah.
like politics tonight, that's fine. If you want general readings, that's fine too.
Yeah, I'm
We're
open to all.
we are yours. So take advantage of that. I'm looking at in the chat. So we're waiting for, oh, here's Liz. She says she loves numerology.
Yeah.
I don't know if you do it or not, but it's so, well, to me, it's my happy place along with tarot. It's so interesting, I think.
Yeah.
And sweetie darling, hello. Thank you for coming over. Let's see.
And I have not been I'm not very well versed in numerology, but I love the way that you explain it, and just your overall excitement for it, I think really shines through really, really strongly. And
Oh, good. I
we just want to do
really have
some general readings. Well, we can do a mix of both. I'm open.
Sure. Lisa Foster, this is what, now, if you want a general reading and you want to give me your birth date, I can do that. Oh, Debbie, hi. Debbie Thornton is my buddy. We've known each other all our lives. So if you want, just go in the chat and give me your birthday. If you want numerology, if not, we'll just do cards.
Yeah.
It's fine. Whatever you want. So I got to get my piece of paper and
I did put
pencil.
slow mode on my channel just so the chat isn't too crazy, but yeah, either send your birthday and your general question or your political question. And I always tell people to do it in all caps with a couple heart emojis.
Oh, that's a good idea. Annie.
To stand out a little bit.
Okay, so I'm going to do your numbers and Kevin can do some start off.
Yeah.
And I'll do the adding.
I feel like Annie has just a beautiful light energy coming from her heart chakra, like really exudes.
Mm-hmm.
Very compassionate, very giving, very empathic.
Yeah. Oh gosh, what a year. Good year. Well, I don't know. From here, the numbers look pretty good, but but I can let you go.
It's interesting that you say that because I'm picking up some hardships.
Yeah.
Is that what you meant by that? Like a lot of intense stuff going on?
Right. When the numbers, that's what's so valuable about knowing what your numbers are, because then you can anticipate what hardships might come out, and then you can navigate it a little bit easier. But yeah, there has been some.
Yeah, I'm getting like, I have the 10 of Wands here, so this is kind of going through some obstacles, some roadblocks, a lot of stress I'm picking up, and maybe Annie not feeling the most grounded too with the 7 of Cups. I do have the Tower next to it, so that's where I'm saying it feels like there's a lot of heaviness. But I would say a lot of times people get scared with the Tower, and it can be a very or what's the right word? I mean, it can be upheavals and unexpected change, but it's also, just those tests for us, to kind of bring in that spiritual awakening. And I think if we resist, the change and, rather just trust that Spirit's got our back, that we're clearing away things that aren't serving us and they're putting us on our right path, it makes it a little bit easier. But when we want to control everything, or we have certain expectations, that's when the Tower can be a bit hard. So I do feel like it's been going through a bit of a hardship. I do have the 5 of Pentacles here too, so I don't know if it's financially related or maybe a loss of a job, but I'm getting that this is a good time for you to kind of reinvent yourself and and to kind of let go of the things that aren't serving you, and focus in on those things that you want to do. I feel like you have such a gentle, warm, loving heart energy.
Mhm.
Um, Almost even, I don't know if you're in the medical field or if you are into energy healing, but um, I just feel like you're a natural born healer is kind of your
Mhm.
role. And I do feel like this upheaval and the stress that you're getting, that you've been going through, it does feel like it lifts um, not too far in the future. So I would just say, Annie, just breathe, and you're going to get through this. And just when you feel out of control or unstable, focus to that beautiful heart space.
Mhm.
Bring in all that love and that compassion for others, but also for yourself. She is a healer. Okay, I picked that up. I saw this beautiful heart and just this beautiful white energy just emerging from it. You have a
Right.
very, very open, giving heart. So it's going to get better for you.
Yeah, it is.
Hang in there.
But I mean, I got to tell you, Annie, you're at the end of a 9-year cycle. It's a 9
Mm,
personal year for you. You are also a 9 life path, which tells me you hold up the whole world through your heart, through your love.
yeah.
And what happens is that you create community. I don't care if it's small, like a bunch of girlfriends coming over, that's community. Your family is a community. The community is all the people who are sick needs, has a community. But I got to tell you, sorry, I just have to turn this off. What's the hardship for this year is that you had to give some of that up.
Mm,
Some of the things you've grown to love, either they left or you had to release it. You had to release it. And the trick to getting through a 9 personal year is to recognize what goes into drama and chaos, because
mm,
that's what you need to release. But it's hard for you because you are a community person. You're an empath. You're amazing. But next year is going to be new things. And you kind of resist that because you like the comfortable
yeah.
stuff. I know I do.
Yeah.
So so it's just, when I looked at that, I thought, oh, she's going through a hard time, but it's almost over. Just like what you said, Kevin. It really is
And a,
almost
and
over.
a wonderful new beginning around on the horizon for you, Annie. A lot of fun and excitement, I think.
And you don't have to work for it. You don't have to think of something new to study or
Mm,
a new path for your business or anything like it. It'll just happen. And
right.
you could be a reader on a cruise ship. Just
Hey.
saying. That's what a 1 personal year does for you, is it gives
Mm,
you, maybe I don't want to live in my neighborhood. Maybe I want to live in Europe, or go on a cruise. So it's going to get better, Annie. I promise. I promise. I promise.
yes.
Yes, I've got Steve Watts. I'm not good at when I'm doing a reading. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry, Steve. I'll get back to you. Carrie was there. When I'm doing a reading, I don't look at the chat. And you know what? You just want a message? May I have a message? I'll do the cards.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I would just tell everybody too, you know, just send your question or like copy and paste it in the chat as we're kind of finishing with one. And I know some people, there's no way that we can actually go and star every question that comes in while we're giving the reading too. We can't juggle that much. So just resend your question. Um, and I always say, if we don't get to your personal question, keep an open mind, because oftentimes the messages that are coming through are a universal message for all of us.
Mhm.
So, you might find your answer in somebody else's, but
You know, I did do your numbers real quick,
yeah.
Carrie, and gosh, you're also in a 9 personal year. This happens when all the people come in and we're talking about the same energy. So a 9 personal year means you had to give up what just doesn't work for you. But yours is a little different than Annie's. Annie's was this heart connection with
Mhm.
things that you need to let go of. Yours is heart, yes, but you're a 22 life path. So you literally have built
Mm,
things like a business, a house, a it's not so much, it would be an organized thing in the community. It would be structure. And sometimes that's a little bit easier to let go of, but you are the master builder. And I have news. Next year is going to be the one personal year. So get ready for that cruise ship. Now I'm going to be on cruise ships. I don't know why, but it's like, what? A cruise ship? Really think about stuff outside the box, because you're going to manifest all these new things. There you go.
I love that. Carrie was, I have her Reiki session. She was the winner for my Reiki giveaway in my last one. We have her session scheduled in January. I don't know if we've talked about what she was looking for with the Reiki, but I did get the Temperance card, which to me is my healing card. Or if it's not physical, maybe it's, kind of, it can be mental or emotional too, but it's all about finding that right balance and kind of taking that step back a little bit. Maybe if things are moving a little bit too quickly. But it's my card of healing and growth. I do have the Eight of Swords, so there might be some limitations or feeling a bit out of control, a little bit trapped. But I feel like the energy coming in for you, Carrie, is really good. You have Ace of Swords, so this is new insight, new clarity, wisdom, and then ultimately the Sun. So, happiness and success. So I kind of agree with what you're saying, Debra. It's like new ideas are coming through and there's success with these ideas. But it is kind of a 9-year resets after that. So it's kind of like the end of a cycle, but beginning of something new, correct?
That's right. But it's not anything you have to create. It's like, just relax, because everything's going to happen in front of you. You have options coming at you.
But I feel like things are shifting for you. They might take a bit of time, but it's all about finding that right balance for you, Carrie. And I mean, the Sun as the final outcome is just a great card, success, victory. So
yeah. And why people have psychic readings or want messages is to touch base to see, am I on the right track?
Yeah.
And if we find something that you may be not on the right track to get to your goals, we can change it. Enlightenment happens in an instant. It doesn't take a lifetime. So we'll have the right combination of words for you to say, to course correct seamlessly, painlessly, to reach your goal. That's why, some people have said, oh, you're so positive. Well, I'm so positive because I can see your future and we're powerful enough to change it if you don't like it.
Yeah.
So
that's the great thing about a reading, because we have those free wills to make those decisions for us and to kind of shift where the energy is going.
Right.
And that's kind of what I do with my readings. I tell people I'm very empathic, so I call myself an energy intuitive. I kind of, as we kind of talk about, backstories or directions or goals, I kind of sit into that energy and feel like, well, does this feel like it's resonating? Or, maybe it doesn't feel like it's quite this, but how can we get where the energy is most likely to go to what your goals are? And I would agree with you. That's the great reading for the great reason for a reading, on top of that.
Right. So
after Steve's, and we can continue to do personals, but somebody had asked about Biden's numerology. Can we do that after?
I would,
I kind of want to do a mix of the both with the politics and the personal.
I would love to tell you about my sweet Biden.
Yeah. All right, Steve. I'm picking up a lot of excitement coming in for you, Steve. I feel like it's maybe news you've been waiting on and like a good result with it.
Oh my gosh.
It feels like a lot of it's overall excitement is what I'm getting. Well, thank you so much for the super chat, Judy.
I'm just going to get Biden's personal here, but I'm going to finish up now. Wouldn't you know, all these evolved souls coming into our show. Steve, you are a 33 master number. And there are a few other 33s that I'd like to share with you, just so you can figure out how cool you are. All right.
Yeah.
So you're also having a 6 personal year, which means you might have been a little controlling this year. Still love you, but that adds its own pressure on you. So next year is going to be more of the spiritually based. You're going to feel things and do things that way. And it will definitely get you going. What else do you have for him? Did
Well,
you?
what was that, Debra? I
Sorry.
was going to say my first card out was the Page of Wands, which is that excitement that I'm feeling, that passionate energy, that excitement, that playful, adventurous kind of energy. I feel like Steve has maybe been, there's a bit of, I have the Hermit here, which is kind of going within or figuring things out, maybe taking a bit of a step back. I have the Strength card too, so it's kind of like pushing through and persevering. But I feel like I have like good family cards, so maybe it's some excitement with the family because I have the Two of Cups and the Ten of Cups. So,
Oh, nice.
so like some good news with the family or relationship. Page of, pages are often childlike energy, so I don't know if there's any kids, Steve. So this maybe could be like a grandchild, but it just feels like there's a new like celebration, something that's got you really happy and excited with the family, and it feels like it's a good shift, um, where you've been maybe taking a step back and kind of focusing in on the inner self, kind of letting go, figuring things out. But it feels really good. Like I said, the Page of Wands is kind of that card of action. So it's a great time for you to figure out things that you're passionate about, things that really spark that fire in the gut, and then acting on them. Having fun with it.
Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
I hope that resonates, Steve.
Can before we get to Biden, I would like to play with Judy.
Well, thank you.
So that's so sweet of you. Thank you so much. I would like to give you a reading. Definitely, you shot right up to the top. Do you know Judy?
I don't believe so. I recognize the names. So
Yeah, we
I've
have
seen
the
her in
names.
the chat before. I don't think I've done a personal reading for Judy. It's so hard to keep track with everything. And typically when I do readings too, I don't really remember a whole lot of them because you're kind of in
I
that
know. Have
the
you noticed that?
daydream imagination state, and it's not that
Right.
analytical, logical. Oh, Mickey, not
Exactly.
Steve. Yes, I understood everything. Oh, thank you.
Oh, wow.
All right, Judy. I feel like Judy's been feeling a bit stuck. I do have the Two of Swords, which is kind of feeling like at a crossroads or trying to make a decision and feeling a bit trapped by this decision. I have it next to the Hierophant, so I don't know if it's a new
Oh
work
my God.
position or going back to school or learning or finding that mentor for you, Judy. But if that's a direction that you're thinking of, I'm getting to go for it because I have the Fool, so it's like a new beginning and things
Right.
really speeding up for you, and ultimately like abundance and wealth coming from it. So I feel like things have maybe been a bit hard, like I said, kind of having a hard time making the decision. But I would say follow your gut. If it's something for like finding a mentor or a teacher or a higher up position with work, I say go for it because it feels like it really pays off. What are you picking up with?
This makes me so excited. I can't stand it because
Yeah,
your reading is exactly what the numbers show.
I love
So,
that.
Judy, so 2023 is all about tying up loose ends, chopping wood, carrying water kind of stuff. And actually, you're a 7 life path. A 7 life path seems to cope with that kind of year pretty well. They're introspective. You don't go color outside the lines. You just together, and you have an amazing relationship with God, angels, guardians, guides, all of that. You have an amazing, but you may not realize how psychic you are. And what happens with that, if it just, because it's a natural thing for you, you're born with it. And so sometimes people frustrate you. You get tired of all the frenzy, because it's like in your mind, you're saying, I could have told you that wasn't going to work, right? And you're frustrated with what's around you. But the 4 personal year is one of tying up loose ends, getting things in order. And then the 5 personal year is going to be all about getting in front of the camera versus behind of it. And this is you start something that you really like and love, and you will find yourself speaking your truth about what you know from the higher octaves. So it's gonna bloom you.
Did you say that was a 7 personal year? Because I think
7 life path and a 4 personal year.
Got it.
So the 7 life path is very intuitive. 4 personal year is a quiet year, kind of boring, but some people can't handle that. But I think she can pretty well. Thank you so much for your question. This is so fun. And thank you for your generous nature as well. And now let's talk about Biden. Okay. I'm so glad you asked me about Biden, because from the very beginning, well, here's a 2 life path. 2 life path people blend. An immature 2 life path person blends their boundaries with other people. They identify through another person. A 2 life path, if they get married, they can't imagine not being married because they don't know who they are. They don't keep a sense of self. Now with Biden, his job is to master relationships. I think he's done pretty well.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, as a politician, as our president, at the beginning, I was nervous because he is from the old guard. Slap on the back, let's have a beer, let's negotiate, and all that stuff. And I thought he was going to be too weak, but he has mastered. He has mastered the relationship situation and the boundaries of that. Now, what complicates things, and if you just look back at the year, he's going through a 2 personal year. That's all about navigating new things coming at you. In other words, you cannot identify yourself at all in the person in front of you. You just have to witness what they have to offer and then decide whether you're going to move into it or not. And it takes a lot of work and understanding of self. So, but he is all aces. He is doing really well. Now, next year is going to be really creative for him. He's going to feel his power. I got the power. And that's the year he's going to get reelected. So, very good. It's exciting. Yeah.
And the next year would be a 3-year for him. And I don't know, I was just thinking as you were saying that, like I was thinking like the 3 of Pentacles, which is like that hard work and that group work and, building up that support.
Right.
I don't know, that was just kind of coming through to me as you were saying.
Yeah, you're right. It's the creativity. How a 3 personal year expresses itself negatively is because you're so creative. You just have all these ideas, is when you are trying to push the river on a situation, trying to make someone fall in love with you again. Or it's a breakup and you can't let go. So you think of all the ways you can kind of happen into the donut shop that he always goes into. You see what I'm saying? So that's when it gets a little negative. But 3s are usually, you get a lot done and it's easy. It's like you have you have an idea, you have momentum, and you complete the situation, the creativity. So
Yeah.
it's like that's the one number that makes me feel like it could be identified as a vacation year.
Mm.
I mean, some people will shoot me dead on that one, but
I don't know if
uh,
he's gonna. I don't know if next year will be a vacation for Biden, but
no, oh no, it
maybe
won't.
it's also too like working hard, but it being easy is maybe what
Yeah,
you
and
mean.
it's going to be he's going to be able to see his reward, capture his reward, which
Hmm.
he hasn't been able to do with the two.
Yeah.
Um, but what I'm saying is that he always is. He's a well-spoken man,
Yeah.
and he'll always have that. But it's just opportunities to make a huge difference in the world will be next year without effort. He's just going to know it.
Yeah.
So he's a good
Well, if
guy.
we're going Biden, I mean, I think Trump is most likely going to be the nominee, and I know that most people are tired of hearing about it. But what do you know? What Trump's personal year is gonna look like?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah, what's
do
going on with
Trump.
that? Let's do Trump, and then we can move back on to the personal if we want.
So Trump is a 4 life path. You
Hmm.
cannot roll a square. So they can be ultra stubborn. That's a shadow side. Ultra stubborn, unyielding.
Hmm.
Uh, all of what Trump is. That's the
Yeah.
shadow side of a 4 life path. If perhaps it was a good, the light side is building, structure and discipline,
Okay.
all that stuff. He is having a 9 personal year. I just put out a video of all the politicians that we have trouble with that are in a 9 personal year. The topic is how to mess up a perfectly good 9 year.
Mm.
and and that's Trump. He's in a 9 year. He had to give up what just didn't work for him anymore. And last year, it was clear what didn't work for him anymore. This bombastic narcissism. And
Yeah.
if he could have calmed that down, I'd be a little more nervous about his success for the big
Yeah.
desk. But one thing that I need to say to everybody is this, because there's a lot of readings out there, and if you hit on a psychic, we are tapping into that energy at the moment. But the future is never a straight line. It's always
Hmm.
in and out. So if I throw on anybody right now, I'll tap like Trump, and I get all these positive cards. It doesn't mean he's going to win. It just means he thinks he's going to win. His
Hmm.
energy signature is high. I've got this. I've got this. I've got this. Will it hold throughout next year until until he gets I don't know, the ballot box? I doubt it, because nobody
Yeah.
keeps high like that. So if you see negative, of course we celebrate. Yeah, you're getting your. I know that sounds unspiritual, but
I would just
yeah, you're getting yours.
say with that though too. It's like that delusion of this big ego has served him well for
Yeah.
in a sense too, because he's almost able to get out of any trouble or really kind of
Mhm,
manifest. He's got that luck on his side because I
mhm,
think he's so um yeah, I mean he's such a pathological liar. I mean he believes everything that comes out of his mouth. It's like
mhm.
it's his reality, so he's able to kind of shift things. But yeah, I would agree with you. I think well he's in a 9 year this year, or is it next
Yeah.
year? Yeah,
No,
so it's kind
it's
of like
this year, lucky,
he's
lucky.
gonna have a bit of an awakening with this next year coming up. You know, it's like a new
Yeah.
beginning, but not one that he's gonna be looking forward to. So
So that's the one personal year, which is
mhm.
all new beginnings. Remember, I told you earlier in the
Yeah,
conversation that you really don't need to manifest hard on something in a one personal year. It just sort of happens, like a orange jumpsuit will just happen onto him, and
yeah,
his place in the food line will just happen onto him. That's what my prediction
yeah,
is.
yeah. I
So
don't think it's gonna be good.
no, it's not all new, brand new. So that's great. Do you have
Maybe I'll start
anything?
figuring out that all of these delusions in his head like aren't real. Maybe I think he's gonna have a big wake up call next year. And I think that realization that I can't get out of this. Oh crap, I'm screwed. That's kind of like this one coming in for him.
You know, what's also interesting is that both of his children
Hmm.
are, the boys are 5 personal year, which means life creates the atmosphere you need to walk. It's not, don't be afraid of a 5 year, but it's like they're both watching their father go through what they're doing. And so they're trying their best to intervene and all that stuff, which would not be successful
Yeah.
for them. Um, but it's same with Clarence Thomas and Ginny. They have the same dynamic. He's in a
Interesting.
9 personal year, same as Trump, and then Ginny's in a 5 where she can't really help.
Mm,
But that's what I'm sticking to it. That's for
that's so
sure.
interesting.
Yeah,
Like I was really looking forward to hearing like some of the politics and these people and what the energy
uh,
looks like for them. Yeah, I agree. I feel Clarence definitely has some trouble, and it feels
yeah.
like Jimmy's out of control with what's going on with him, and kind of spirals out of control.
So, Patty, I see here where I'm glad you asked that because the United States has a number. I call it a personal year.
Yeah.
And but the United States personal year, you add July 4th, 7th, and then the present year, and you'll
Hmm.
get that. So we have 7, 8, 9, and that the present year that we're in now is 7. It's a 7 universal year. So you add it up, and that's your personal year. I should have told you that before, and I'm just going to check my sources here because yeah, it's so America. I'm so grateful for this question. America is in its 9 personal year as well.
Interesting.
So when I said before, in a 9 personal year, life is going to identify what you need to give up because it becomes chaotic and drama, bunch of drama.
Yeah.
And this is what's happening. And if you at all get in despair, I highly encourage you to go on Google or no, I'm see the YouTube, and just type in Republicans that are no longer Trumpsters or something like that, and listen to the transition, the revelations these people have had. I mean, it's this one lady, it took all the way going to jail, and then it dawned on her, she saw the light of it, and
Mm,
but but the world, what is a 7? A world is a 7. A personal year for America is a 9. But how you get the universal is just the year, like 2 plus 0
mhm.
plus 2 plus 3. That adds up to 7.
Yeah.
So the universal stands alone as a 7. Next year will be an 8. So this is the year to define spiritually who you are at soul level and who you want to be in this community as a citizen.
Mhm.
And all of that has happened. And that's why you see these people moving into the different corners. There's no middle, it seems like. And that's because we're doing our job. With the number, we're aligning to our morals and ethics and belief system. So we, how I see it, when someone from the party of fairness, I think that's plugged into the higher octaves. The party of let me build my wealth as a single person, then I see that um, being plugged into money or whatever their
Mhm.
stuff is. So everyone's getting defined. Don't freak out. Next year is an 8. So everything people are going, who they are right now, will anchor tangibly into the world
Yeah.
next year. That doesn't mean MAGA is going to win. Doesn't mean liberals going to win. It just means that what you have aligned to the higher octaves that's a house on firm land. When you think of only yourself, this is like God has to teach us the golden rule.
Yeah.
Keep it in mind, right? If you build your house on just yourself on sand, then it can't anchor next year. It'll just disappear or get turned over. So just get the popcorn out, and as long as you know as long as you know the numbers, it's going to be fine. But I do have a list of China,
Uh-huh.
Russia. I'm thinking off the top. China, Russia, U.S., and there was something at Syria are all in a 9 personal year. I don't know what Argentina is. Are all in a 9 year. So this is what happens with the numbers. This is like a cycle.
Are they in a 9-year this year or
This
next year?
year. No, this year.
That's really interesting too, because
Yeah.
I do feel like next year, especially with Russia, um, a lot of kind of a new beginning, and it's almost like a revolt and kind of rebuilding after, because
Mhm.
I don't think Putin's going to be around much longer. So it's kind
Right.
of like the ending of that cycle, but then it's like a beginning to kind of go back and get away from the fascism and kind of build a strong democracy for themselves and reinventing themselves. It's not going to be just next year. It's going to take them some
No.
time to do that, but the starts of it could maybe happen, and that would make sense if it's a 1 year.
Yeah. Well, even the Russian people, remember when there were mothers in Russia
Hmm.
upset that all their sons were going to
Oh yeah.
war? And then the stories were coming back that it wasn't saving anybody, we're demolishing somebody.
Hmm.
And so that realization came, but that's all in a 9 year,
Yeah.
right? That's all in a 9 year when you think, okay, that's when the revelation saying, I've got to give this up, this devotion to my government. That's what happens when a country goes into a 9.
Interesting.
So yeah, it's wild, isn't it? I love this stuff.
Yeah, I could hear you talk about numerology for the whole show. Like I would be totally fine with that. I know I'm your guest, but
Let's do it. Let's do it.
yeah,
But I'm not seeing, let's see. I hope that put your mind at ease about Patty, about the country and the world, because we're all in the cycle. It's just that the
mm,
3 superpowers, or some of the 3 superpowers, are in a 9 personal year, so it gets a little dramatic.
yeah,
As long as you stay aligned to the upper octaves and stay in alignment with the party of fairness, I think we're going to be just fine.
yeah.
Mhm. Definitely. So I won't be able to pronounce your name. I'll just say beautiful woman, beautiful couple.
There we go.
and, and
Yeah,
she would
I'm not even
like,
gonna attempt that one. I'll definitely botch that.
what's that?
But I'm not even gonna attempt to attempt that name because
We'll
I'll
just
botch
say,
it.
we'll just say beautiful woman.
Yes.
There we are.
It's interesting because I was just picking up all this happiness and um like excitement similar to like the last reading, but I feel like this is going to be a great time for you with the Empress, the mother, to bring in abundance. I have the Ten of Pentacles here, so that money, but also to kind of create new ideas, to start something new. I have the Lover, so that's relationships and keeping the faith, a bright new future. So it feels really positive, where the energy is going. I do feel like there's maybe been some things that you've been working through because I have the Devil here at the root. So this can, and kind of giving and taking, finding that right balance. But it feels like where the energy is going, it's like a wonderful time to kind of create, like I said, the mother card here and the stars, so bright, shining new future for you. And it feels like money turning around too. Wealth
Yeah.
coming in.
So I'll take those cards
Yeah.
and phone a friend or raise you.
Yeah. What do you think?
So the Empress, this is what gets me excited. The Empress is like a 9, and you are a 9 life path. So that means you're caring, you really love community or your quiet time, all that stuff. So the 9 is a real Mother Earth. It's the Empress. Absolutely the Empress. It's an 8 personal year, which could be kind of tough on you because you are more let's make sure everyone has enough. But the 8 asks you to anchor down what you really believe in and profit. Now, usually there's money opportunities. There's surges of money in the 8 personal year. And I mean, you would much rather have a hug from someone you love than a box of cookies, right? It was something emotional versus something tangible.
Yeah.
That's how you do you kind of do your life. You're a 36 9. So you're just really creative. You're orderly, divine order is just you're the perfect person. But the 8 personal year, 2023 is a little tough. So 2023, you anchored some stuff in the land, you established a family or something like that. Next year, it will shake out quite early, about January, February. Something you've planted, tangibly planted in an 8 personal year. Next year, you'll know what needs to just be set aside. Okay, so and it'll get really obvious because maybe you put your time and money into something that you discover isn't really in alignment with who you are. So then you have to give it up, like disappoint someone, and that you're not very good at disappointing people. Just saying. So, but I got to tell you, this is it's everything. So, the 10 of Pentacles is the 8 personal year and the Devil. The Devil is usually a compassion or obsession or impulse. And your first impulse, because you're born like this, is to be kind and to be a healer and all of that stuff. It's a very soft, beautiful card. But what the Devil is in your reading, it means is that when you're really connected with mirroring back everybody else's best self, and sometimes they don't respond. That cycle of reward doesn't make you. You're too invested in how people mirror back, and so that's that obsessive compulsive, and that's because of the 6 and the 36. The 6 is like, I'm going to make it's perfect balance, beauty, justice, all of that stuff that makes up that 9. And so that could be just part of it. But the Devil's pretty cool. We all have the obsessive compulsive stuff. And it's kind of nice to know what it is, because mine this year, for my 6th personal year, was that I went from 0 to 100 in my anger, like fast. And I thought, oh my gosh. But then I thought, oh, there it is. There it is. That was my lesson. And so I thought, okay, that person didn't get up this morning thinking, I'm going to mess with Deb. No. So it taught me a lot. But once you know the lessons are coming, then you can say, I see you. I know you now.
Yeah. But I definitely feel like it's going to be a good year for you. So a lot of positive shifts, I think.
Yeah. 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 I hope you enjoyed that reading, beautiful woman.
Thank you so much for the super chat, Connie.
And
this is flying by. We're already at 50 minutes. It feels like it's been 15.
When you talk about happy things like your happy place. Time
Yeah.
flies. Thank you so much. I am
Thank
going
you.
to do the numbers, and you can go ahead and tap into.
Of course.
I didn't see that in the lineup. I'm glad you mentioned
Thank you so
it.
much for the super chat.
Gosh, I'm living in the past. Well, here we go. Got another one coming up with Connie. Gotcha, Connie.
I just heard be patient, and I feel like you have been patient, but just be patient a little bit longer.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, here's the 10 of Pentacles again. Yeah, I feel like it's be patient, because this 10 of Pentacles is coming in for you, a chorister. I do get that I have the moon, so things have been a bit cloudy. It can be a very intuitive time for you too, but maybe that focus has been a bit hard to kind of, because I do feel like I have the 5 of Cups, so there's a bit of a sadness. So maybe it's hard to kind of focus through this kind of grief that you've been dealing with. This has been a wonderful time for you to kind of take a step back and reevaluate. But I get that you're building a strong, solid foundation for yourself, for your family. And then the 10 of Pentacles, so success, shifting with I think, I don't know if it's financial fear. Um, that could be something, it feels like, but you've been going through a bit of a hard time. But I do get that there's success and happiness, accomplishments coming in, and 10 of Pentacles. So like I said, I know you've been patient, but continue to be patient for a little bit longer, because things are really shifting for you, a chorister. I hope that resonates. Hopefully it resonates with what you're picking up with the numbers.
Yeah, every time you hit a button, I think, oh my gosh, I get all excited. So again, a 4 personal year, but with a 7 life path, the same as earlier. I just love this stuff when the same energy comes into the room. So also you have, let me see, wait. Oh, I've got the wrong one. See, it was doing too much. Oh, I'm so sorry. I did yours. I'm so sorry. I was living in the future. So I see with your numbers, you are a master number 11, 29, 11 with a 7 personal year. You are so intuitive that you actually can pick up what you want to do and figure out if it's going to work for you. And sometimes you don't do it because of your gut, right? But a 7 personal year gets you in touch with the higher octaves, and you're already living there in the master number 11. All your life, you have been feeling under the gun, especially when you're young. I have to do something. I don't know what it is, and it has to be big. That's the scenario of all master numbers. They come in. That's because they come in with more potential. And so you feel that I have all this potential and all this insight. What do I do with it? And next year is your eight personal year. So that means whatever you're doing right now and figuring out on a spiritual level, or the alignment of who you are spiritually, needs to be expressed. And you've already got that kind of impulse. But I don't care if it's in writing, you're an excellent author. You could be an author. You can do anything that expresses yourself and teaching others. So I bet you're a teacher. I'm sure you are. That's what 29s do, teach. So that's just awesome. So next year is going to be the 8. Yeah. And so all this stuff that's in your head is going to manifest. So you can manifest anything. Be careful. You can manifest it. So if you're really confused, it can manifest a lot more confusion. So be careful. Very, very, very.
I feel like it's going to be good though, and I think it kind of goes in with that 4 of Wands that I got, which is building that solid foundation. So these ideas, there's some action behind them, and so it's kind of building up, and it's nice and supported.
Mhm.
Um, so just hang in there for a little bit, and like I said, like Deborah was saying, just be mindful of the energy that you're sitting in. We're not wanting to manifest more worry, but keep
Yep.
the faith. It's coming in. The things are shifting good for you.
So I do bless you and leave you with that. I hope that
Yeah.
worked out. And I'm very sorry that I started getting excited about Connie
Oh.
after all. But when I saw those 11 and 22, now when you peel the onion of numerology, you can go real deep because there's
Yeah.
the day means something, and then the day of the calendar when mixed with, I mean, you can go down a rabbit hole. But because the same energies of feeling under the gun,
Mm.
kind of your whole life, plus you're a 7 life path, having a 4 personal year. That was like the other one we were reading earlier.
Mhm.
This is don't you love it, Kevin, that when we go on, we such talented intuitives join us.
Mhm.
That's, I mean, these are incredible people. For personal year, just it's again in kind of a good alignment with your 7 because you do like to be alone.
Mm.
Sometimes to just be with your people up there, and so I'm with Kevin. It's gonna all of these are gonna be aligned better for people next year,
Mhm.
and a lot of good work.
I just threw some cards for you, Connie, and um, I do know that there's been some issues with the job in the past. I'm not sure how that is, but I do feel like Connie's felt very stuck. Um, five
Mm,
of five of wands, so there's like those roadblocks, those obstacles. 5 of pentacles, and the hangman. So like there's delay, there's kind of working through um, some things that are no longer serving you. And like I said, I know in the past there's been some stress with the job, heavy burdens that you're carrying. But I feel like going into next year, Connie, it, that excitement, that page of rods is coming in. So that excitement, that enthusiasm, these creative new ideas and acting upon them. And it feels like new opportunities, financial opportunities coming in for you, Connie, and success, hopes and dreams fulfilled. Um, so if you've been feeling stuck, it's been a kind of like letting go of those things that are no longer serving you, and it's putting you on these paths for this excitement and these new opportunities. I mean, you have 2 pages here, so
gosh,
so
that's
some new
great.
money, and it's going to feel really good. It's going to really feel that fire um, in the gut, and then just like that success with it too. So
Right.
hang in there, my friend, because things are
Yeah.
shifting for you.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
because the 4 personal year is really a chop wood, carry water. You have to do,
Hmm.
and another way to put it is that you put a lot of effort out with no cycle of reward. The cycle of reward
Yeah.
will reestablish itself next year. Now, it's not, I use the calendar year, beginning of the calendar year to switch everything, but usually the vibration of it starts around September, October of
Okay.
the current year. So that's when the shift happens with the numbers. Um,
So it's like
so
getting into the energy a little bit
yep.
before the new year, and then you can start to feel things kind of manifest and shift towards the end of the next year.
Yeah, astrology has a term called void of course. Void of course. The moon is that means it's just not doing anything,
Yeah.
and so like September, October, you're the pressure of that year lifts, and the anticipation of the next one comes in, and
Yeah.
then you start really feeling it a lot. And so and
It's really interesting because I would say even for myself, in some ways, I think this last year was probably one of the hardest years that I've experienced with
mm,
a lot of things shifting and a lot of lessons. And it was a lot of heavy lessons, but like multiple. So it was a bit hard, but I did feel like the
mm,
energy started to shift. Like September, October, it wasn't
mhm,
quite as chaotic or um, quite as explosive.
right.
So,
Right.
because
Yeah.
I'm um, a
Life
one
path.
life path, and I think my personal year was a 7.
Wow. And the universal year is 7.
Yeah,
So that means it's hard to live on planet Earth when you're a 7.
yeah,
7 personal year. I know you're a life path, but you're a trailblazer. You
mhm,
can be on your own just fine, and there's a lot of benefits with the one. But watch Kevin, a one life path who is a teacher, will all of a sudden just tell you things that are new, and you'll be educated because they know how to change words around to be fresh and understandable. So
mm,
that's the one. But the 7 personal year, you you know, planet Earth is not designed to be heaven on Earth,
yeah,
right? And so, but the 7 personal year asks you to bring heaven to Earth.
mm,
So there's that clash. When you look at something, when you were a kid, when you had a 7 cycle, when you're a kid, that was the time when you saw mom and dad say no, something isn't true, but you see it, obviously it's true,
mhm,
right? And so you start doubting. That was a 7. That's kind of be a 7,
yeah.
um, when it doesn't align to the higher octaves. But oh my gosh, this has been such a fun night.
Yeah. Can we
Thank
do
you.
one more before we end? I typically
Sure.
keep it at an hour, but April just sent in a super chat, so
Oh,
we
you
can
did? Okay.
if
Oh, there
that's
you
okay
who
with
did?
you.
Let's see.
April
On
Laura.
April. Okay. Absolutely, April. Let's do you. I'm going to start.
I've had so much fun. Like I said, the time just flew by, and I could hear you talk about the numerology. Like I said before, though, I would love to have you on my channel, and we'll probably do politics if that's fine with you, and just kind of
Fun.
do all of the nitty gritty with with what a lot of these people are good things coming in for some, and some people I think are going to have a hard year next
Yeah.
year.
That's right.
All right, Abe. Kind of tapping in April. Sometimes my guides will show me animals, and it's kind of like deciphering that symbol. And I was picking up like a mouse for you, but it felt like your energy is can be very gentle and maybe sometimes quiet, but it feels like there needs to be a little bit more forcefulness, if that makes sense. Um, Maybe stepping outside of the comfort zone a little bit is how I was kind of intuiting that. But I threw some cut. Let me see what the cards have to say. I feel like there's some yeah, I feel like things have been a bit hard. I have 3 5 cards here for you. So again, I have the 5 of Wands. So this can be arguments. It can be roadblocks, obstacles, maybe feeling a bit lost and defeated, um, or maybe being around somebody that can be a bit of a bully or put you down. And there's been a bit of an emotion with this 5 of Cups here. There's been a bit of a grief. But I feel like there's a compassionate, loving offer coming in for you. You have a beautiful light to you, April. Um, and it feels like it's maybe some kind of loving proposal coming in. I don't know if you're in a relationship now. It could be a new relationship, or um, it's a new emotional connection coming in, and a lot of love coming your way this new year. Um, I have the Justice card, so things are coming into balance for you. You're kind of getting out of this feeling stuck, or um, all of these fives, like I was saying. So it's kind of we're shifting things for you. And I'm getting like step into your power with this High Priestess. You're very intuitive. Like I said, I feel like you're very empathic, and I feel a beautiful, giving, empathic heart energy stemming from you, April. So things are going to get better, but really stand fully into your power, um, because things are shifting for you. Like I said, there's a lot of love coming your way in this next year.
Oh my God. This so I'm so excited to tell
Isn't that
you.
amazing when what you're picking up, and then it's kind of like I'm seeing it from this perspective, but it's like that piggyback almost. I love when
Yeah.
that happens.
Oh, I'm so excited. You had all those fives. So the five of
Yeah.
wands is the Bickersons. Bicker,
Mhm.
bicker, bicker. And the five of wands is all out. I don't like you today.
Mhm.
Arguments. But you are in a 2 personal year, and that is the epitome of what a 2 personal year asks you to do, is to get along with people.
Yeah.
Now, you are very, very good at getting along with people because you're a master number 11, 2911. You're the oracle. But you found that people, when you spoke, people either didn't understand you, like you were talking alien, or that they misunderstand you, and it's been
Mhm.
plain as day. I thought I was clear with that because you're very, very good with words. But this is the year life asks you to back up when there's a problem, and assume you can just look inside that you are the one that miscalculated the words or something. But then if you go back in your mind and you think, no, I was pretty clear, then just leave it alone. That's the
Mhm.
trick of a 2 personal year. Just bless them and say sorry and leave it alone, because and you're really good at this because 11 life path are fine alone. They really are. I mean,
Mhm.
you can be happy on your own just fine. I mean, you love people and everything, but you're probably ready to get rid of them. So don't worry. Next year is going to blow your mind, and it'll start off right away. You're getting hits of it right now,
Yeah.
the creativity.
I love
So
that.
this is fun.
Yes, it's been a lot of fun. I hope that resonates, April. All right, Deborah.
Okay,
Well,
good. This was
we'll
fun.
talk after the show. Let's
Okay,
plan another collab, because this was a lot of fun and it just flew
awesome.
by. And um, we'll do politics next time.
Okay,
I
yeah.
enjoy doing the back and forth, but uh, yeah, I'm really interested to kind of see what's coming through for some people, world leaders and politicians.
Mhm.
So we'll do that. We'll do that next time.
Okay.
But it was so much fun, and thank you for inviting me on your channel.
Thank you
Um,
for
I know
coming.
we're kind of both streaming here, but yeah, it's been great.
Thank you so much. So all of my people that are just mine, go to Kevin's
Yeah,
Loving Vibration and subscribe. I appreciate that, and vice versa. It really does
yeah. Go
help.
over to Grow Your Light with Debra Zachau. Is that how you pronounce
Yeah,
her last?
it's just at Grow Your Light, but I added my name because I'm an 11.
Perfect.
I'm loud and proud.
Yeah, hit
So
that thumbs up and the subscribe button. It really helps us. So,
it sure does. It sure does. Thank you so much. Everyone have a blessed evening, and we will talk to you soon. All
bye,
right.
everyone.